Hey everyone, welcome back to Better Habits, Brighter Life. I'm James.
And I'm Priya. Today we're diving into the mind of Nir Eyal, the best-selling author of Hooked and Indistractable. If you want to master your attention and build better products and habits, this is an episode you can't miss.
So true, Priya. Nir Eyal's work has had such a massive impact, not only in the tech industry, but in personal productivity too. I first discovered his book Hooked when I got curious about why certain apps are just so addictive. And then Indistractable took it even further. How do you regain control over your own attention?
Yup, and I think that's the perfect place to start. Let's talk about the concept of Hooked. What are the main takeaways from that book?
Hooked is all about how companies build habit-forming products. Eyal breaks it down into what's called the hook model, which has 4 main steps or components: trigger, action, variable reward, and investment.
Right, the trigger starts the cycle. It's either external, like a notification, or internal, like feeling bored or lonely.
Exactly. For example, when you get a ping from social media, that's an external trigger. But over time, you barely need that ping. Just feeling a little bored becomes an internal trigger to pick up your phone.
Then comes the action, the behavior you do in response. Scrolling your feed, opening the app, whatever the simplest next step is.
Yeah, and the action phase relies a lot on what Eyal calls the ability-motivation balance. If the action is easy and you're motivated enough, you do it without overthinking.
After that, there's the variable reward, and I love the psychological depth here. The ideas borrowed from B.F. Skinner and behavioral psychology. Rewards that vary or are unpredictable keep us coming back.
Think slot machines or even Instagram likes. You don't know exactly what you'll get, so you keep checking. The uncertainty is addictive.
And finally, investment. This is what you put into the product. Time, effort, data, even small things like uploading a profile picture or leaving a comment. The more you invest, the more likely you are to return.
It's a feedback loop, right? The investment increases the likelihood you'll respond to the next trigger.
What I find fascinating is that this isn't just about making addictive apps. Eyal also discusses using this understanding ethically. It can help us build products that genuinely help people form good habits.
Yes. He mentions apps like Duolingo using these hooks to make learning addictive in a positive way. It's a matter of intention and ethics.
Let's shift gears to Indistractable, Nir's book about reclaiming our attention in a world designed to hijack it. What did you find most impactful from that book, James?
So much! But the core idea is that distraction isn't just about external triggers or technology. It's also about internal triggers. In other words, blaming your phone is convenient, but the urge to reach for it often comes from avoiding uncomfortable feelings.
Absolutely. Eyal argues that time management is pain management. If the root cause of distraction is emotional discomfort, just turning off notifications isn't enough.
That's such a paradigm shift. So step 1 is mastering internal triggers, recognizing what you're actually feeling when you want to escape into distraction. Maybe it's boredom, anxiety, or frustration.
Right, and he recommends looking at these triggers with curiosity, not judgment. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I trying to escape? Then you can begin to work through those feelings in healthier ways.
The next layer is making time for traction. And he says traction is any action that moves you closer to your goals. Distraction is anything that pulls you away. Scheduling your priorities is key here. Using a time-boxed calendar for work, exercise, family, whatever matters most.
Yes, and that brings such clarity. If you block time for focused work or even relaxation, then you know what you should be doing and can identify what's truly a distraction.
The book also talks about hacking back external triggers. That means not just resisting them, but actively tailoring your environment. Unsubscribe from emails you don't want, turn off notifications that don't serve you, or physically move your phone out of reach.
I found his tips for group settings really useful too. For example, using visible signals like a concentration zone sign at your desk to tell coworkers you're in deep work mode. It's about setting boundaries with others and yourself.
Exactly. And of course, he addresses the importance of making pacts, commitments you make with yourself or others to follow through on what matters. Pre-commitments like turning on website blockers during deep work times or having a friend hold you accountable.
So, to summarize, I think there are 3 big learnings from Nir Eyal's work. First, Understand the psychology behind habits, both good and bad, and notice how products use the hook model to capture our attention.
Second, realize that we have more power than we think. Distraction comes from within as much as without, and we can address those root causes with self-awareness and emotional regulation.
And third, it's about proactive steps, time-boxing your day, hacking back triggers, and making packs to stay on track with what really matters to you. Eyal's message is hopeful. We can become indistractable.
Well said, Priya. One thing Eyal emphasizes is that we shouldn't demonize technology, but rather learn to use it consciously, aligning it with our values and goals.
To wrap up, I want to leave everyone with this quote from Eyal. The antidote to impulsiveness is forethought. If we spend even a little time planning how to respond to triggers, internal or external, we're less likely to get pulled off course.
Couldn't agree more. So, whether you're building a product, developing a personal habit, or just trying to get more meaningful stuff done, Nir Eyal offers insights you can use today.
That's it for this episode of Better Habits, Brighter Life. If you enjoyed our discussion, don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think about Nir Eyal's ideas or how you're becoming indistractable.
Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep learning, keep reflecting, and keep building those better habits.
Bye, everyone.